This is Trade Alive with IUX, where markets come alive and trading gets real. Let's go live.
This podcast is brought to you by IUX Trading Platform, elevating your trading experience.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back to the IUX Podcast. This is part of our Trade Alive series, brought to you by IUX Education and the IUX Trading Platform. We help you explore the lives, lessons, and legacies of the world's greatest traders. But more than that, we help you explore the most important territory of all, the landscape of your own mind. I want you to picture a scenario, and I'm willing to bet that almost every single one of you listening right now has been here. You are sitting at your desk. The room is quiet. The glow of the monitors is the only light. You've been watching a specific asset. Maybe it's gold, maybe it's the euro dollar, maybe it's a tech stock. You've been stalking it for 3 hours. The chart looks perfect, textbook perfect. The trend lines are respecting the geometry. The moving averages have crossed exactly where you wanted them to. The RSI is cooling off just enough. The support level holds. Your strategy, the one you spent months backtesting, is practically screaming at you. Entry, entry, entry. But you just sit there. You're staring at the screen. Your hand is on the mouse. Your index finger is hovering over the buy button. You can feel the tension in your wrist, but you don't click. You hesitate. You tell yourself, I'll just wait for one more candle to close, just to be safe. I'll just wait for the volume to tick up a little bit more. I need one more confirmation. And while you're bargaining with yourself, while you're waiting for that imaginary guarantee, the price moves. A big green candle shoots up. It goes exactly where you thought it would go. And you're still sitting there, flat, with no position. The opportunity is gone. And now that hesitation turns into frustration, then anger, then regret. This phenomenon is known as analysis paralysis or execution anxiety. It is, without a doubt, one of the most frustrating, soul-crushing experiences in trading. Why? Because it isn't caused by a lack of knowledge. You knew what to do. You did the work. It's not like you were confused. It's caused by a surplus of fear. You know what to do, but you simply cannot bring yourself to do it. The root of this paralysis is often a fundamental misunderstanding of risk. Traders who freeze are usually trying to avoid uncertainty. They are subconsciously looking for a guarantee, a signed contract from the market that this specific trade will work. But here is the hard truth we need to confront today. The market deals in probabilities, not certainties. To bridge that gap between your analysis and your execution, and to learn how to finally click buy with confidence, we must fundamentally shift our perspective. We have to move from predicting the future to executing a probability. So today, we're going to dismantle this anxiety. We're going to take apart the psychology of why you freeze, and I'm going to give you the tools to thaw out that trigger finger. Let's start by diagnosing the disease. Why does this happen? Why do intelligent, capable people freeze up over a mouse click?
The primary reason you can't click buy is often a toxic combination of two things: loss aversion and maladaptive perfectionism. Let's talk about perfectionism first. In almost every other career in the world, perfectionism is a superpower. If you're a surgeon, we want you to be a perfectionist. If you're a structural engineer building a bridge, we want you to be obsessed with being right 100% of the time. In school, getting 100% on a test is the goal. So, you've been trained since you were 5 years old that mistakes are bad, that being wrong is a failure of character. But in trading, perfectionism is a liability. It's a handicap. Why? Because the market is an environment of imperfect information. You cannot know everything. But your brain doesn't accept that. When you're about to click buy, your brain, specifically the perfectionist part of your brain, envisions the potential loss. And because of loss aversion, which is a psychological principle stating that the pain of losing is twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining, your brain triggers a fear response. It treats a losing trade not as a business cost, but as a personal failure. It views a red number on the screen as a flaw in your intellect. It says, if I lose money, it means I'm stupid. It means I'm wrong. So your brain demands a guarantee of success that the market cannot provide. You start asking that deadly question, what if I'm wrong? What if I buy it here and it drops? What if the news comes out in 10 minutes? What if I'm missing something? This questioning paralyzes you because you're stuck in what we call all or nothing thinking. You're waiting for a flawless setup to eliminate uncertainty. You're trying to be perfect in an environment that is inherently imperfect and probabilistic. It's like trying to play poker but refusing to bet unless you have a royal flush every single hand. You'll sit there until you blind out because you're waiting for a certainty that rarely exists. You have to understand that this hesitation isn't about the market, it's about your ego. You're trying to protect your self-image of being right. But in trading, you can be right on the analysis and lose money, and you can be wrong on the analysis and make money. The perfectionist can't handle that paradox, and so they freeze. So how do we fix this? How do we turn off the perfectionist and turn on the trader? To solve this, you must adopt what the legendary trading coach Mark Douglas called the Probabilistic Mindset. This is the single biggest shift you'll ever make in your trading career. You must stop caring about the outcome of the individual trade, and you must start caring about the outcome of a series of trades. I want to give you a visualization that I think really helps clarify this. Imagine you have a coin, but this isn't a normal coin. It's weighted. It's a trick coin. Over the long run, this coin lands on heads 60% of the time and tails 40% of the time. Now, I offer you a bet. Every time you flip the coin, you bet $100. If it's heads, you win $100. If it's tails, you lose $100. Would you take that bet? Of course you would. It's a license to print money. You have a massive statistical edge. Now, imagine you flip the coin for the first time. You bet your $100. You flip it, and it lands on tails. You lose. Now, here's the million-dollar question. Did you make a mistake? No, you did not make a mistake. The process was correct. You took a bet with a positive expectancy. The outcome was just variance. It was just randomness. If you flip that coin again and it's tails again, did you make a mistake? No. But here's what the amateur trader does. After 2 tails in a row, the amateur trader starts thinking, maybe the coin is broken. Maybe I'm flipping it wrong. Maybe I shouldn't bet on heads next time. I need to wait until I'm sure it's going to be heads. They freeze. They stop betting. And then, inevitably, the next 3 flips are heads, 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 and they missed all of them. Trading is identical to this coin toss. Your strategy, your technical analysis, your indicators, that's just the tool that identifies the weighted coin. Your edge is simply a probability that one thing is more likely to happen than another over a large sample size. The amateur freezes because they need the next trade to win, to validate their perfectionism. They need to be right now. The professional clicks buy without hesitation. Why? Not because they know this trade will win, but because they know that out of the next 20 trades, their edge will make money. The professional doesn't care about trade number 1. They care about the bundle of trade number 1 through trade number 20. They know that losses are just the tails in the distribution. You cannot have the heads, the wins, without paying for the tails, the losses. When you shift your perspective from, I need this trade to work, to, I need to execute my edge 20 times to see the math play out, the pressure on that single mouse click disappears. You're not predicting the future anymore. You're just flipping the coin. Now, philosophy is great, but we need action. We need practical steps. How do you physically get yourself to click the button when your heart is racing? I have 3 specific techniques for you. Step 1. Predefine your risk, the boredom test. Hesitation often stems from the fear of an unknown or unacceptable loss size. If you're staring at a trade and your heart is pounding, it usually means one thing: you're trading too big. Your position size is so large that your nervous system is sounding the alarm. So before you even look for an entry, determine exactly how much you will lose if you're wrong. Is it $50? Is it $500? Is it $5,000? If looking at that number makes you feel sick or anxious or excited, it is too big. Reduce your position size, cut it in half, then cut it in half again. Keep reducing it until you look at the potential loss and feel nothing, until you feel bored. Boredom is good. Boredom is your friend. Boredom means the fear is gone. It means the loss is insignificant to your lifestyle. When the risk is small enough that you don't care about the outcome, clicking the button becomes easy. You can always scale up later, but you cannot build confidence on a foundation of terror. Step 2. The 3-second rule. This is a tactic to bypass your overthinking brain. We have 2 systems in our brain. System 1 is fast and emotional. System 2 is slow and rational. But when we hesitate, we often let a third voice enter, the doubter. The doubter needs time to talk. It needs time to come up with excuses. Oh, look at that tick volume. Oh, look at that news headline. So do not give the doubter time. Once your criteria are met, once your checklist says yes, give yourself a 3-second countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. You must execute before the clock hits 0. If you wait longer than a few seconds, your rational brain shuts down and your emotional brain takes over, inventing reasons not to trade. Train yourself to be a machine. Criteria met, countdown, click. Step 3. Accept the risk before execution. This is the most spiritual part of trading. Truly accepting risk means you're at peace with the loss before it happens. Most traders place a trade and pray it works. They haven't accepted the loss. They're hoping to avoid it. I want you to try a different exercise. Before you click buy, look at your stop loss. Imagine the price hitting it. Imagine the money leaving your account. Can you accept that? Can you look at that outcome and say, I am okay with this loss. This is the fee I pay to find out if this is a winner. If you cannot accept the loss, you cannot click buy with confidence. You're fighting reality. But if you can say, I accept this loss as a possibility, and I am willing to pay it to see if my edge works, then you're free. The anxiety vanishes because you've already confronted the worst-case scenario. By shifting your focus from avoiding loss to executing your edge, you silence the internal critic. You realize that a losing trade is not a failure. It's simply a cost of doing business. It's like a restaurant buying food. Some food gets wasted. That's not a failure. That's an overhead expense required to sell the meals. Your losses are your overhead expenses required to capture the winners. So let's bring this all together. We've learned today that the inability to click buy, that analysis paralysis, is rarely a technical issue. You don't need another indicator. You don't need a better monitor.
It is a psychological barrier rooted in maladaptive perfectionism and loss aversion. When you freeze, it is because you are treating a single trade as a definitive measure of your self-worth. You are searching for a guarantee of success that the market simply cannot provide. The secret to learning how to click buy with confidence lies in shifting your perspective from prediction to probability. You must detach your ego from the individual result. You must view your trading activity as a large sample size, a series of coin flips, where losses are merely the cost of doing business. On platforms like IUX, the market provides the opportunity. The market provides liquidity, but you, the trader, must provide the discipline. By trusting your edge over a series of trades rather than fearing the outcome of one, you replace anxiety with execution. You stop being a spectator in your own career and you start being a participant. If this episode gave you valuable insight, if it helped you understand why your finger freezes on the mouse, please click like, subscribe, follow, and share it with another trader who might need this reminder. In the next episode, we'll dive even deeper into the psychology of risk and explore how to manage a winning trade without panicking. Thank you for listening. Trust your process, manage your risk, and I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.
You've been listening to Trade Alive with IUX. Ready to put these insights into action? IUX is here to power your next winning trade